Welcome to the Beyond Physio Podcast, where we help you move, excel, and inspire others on your journey to your next level with knowledge and advice from experts and testimonials from our like-minded community.
Pete, I want to thank you so much for carving out some time out of your busy schedule to share your success story with Next Level. So thank you for coming on our show.
No problem, Jerry. Happy to be here today.
Awesome. So Pete, you and I met through F3 through different channels. Can you talk a little bit more about what F3 is really about? And for any guys out there who are looking for a workout group with very high quality guys, this is a great place for you. So Pete, can you dive into that?
Yeah, sure. F3 is I call it a leadership incubator, but really it starts with just building fellowship and getting it back into fitness. And through that, a lot of people give back to their communities, and we call that a faith aspect. That's the F3. So fitness, fellowship, and faith brings people together, giving back to the community and helping to develop greater leaders, fathers, husbands in society today. We definitely have a lack of that sometimes.
I agree. And what I have been drawn to, especially with F3, has been just the camaraderie. Obviously, there's a lot of banter, which goes on.
That social aspect is so sticky. And if you look back in generations preceding our generation, Jerry, it's like you had other outlets, whether it's the Elks or Moose Lodge or Eagles or just out to the golf courses or whatever. And it was a lot of maybe unhealthy living. Today, we're finding social outlets in healthy living, and I think F3 is a great part of that.
I agree with you. So tell me, what was your main sport or just in life, and what have you been doing with your life physically?
Sure. I've always been a runner, played soccer, skied, snowboarded, water skied quite a bit growing up, but running has really carried me through from high school cross country for a couple of years and then taking a break and kind of being a young rambunctious man into fatherhood early on. I had stopped working out a little bit and had gained a few pounds, didn't have the right posture at work. And through that, back around 2002, I was about 40 pounds heavier than I am now.
No way.
Could barely walk across the street because my back was so out of alignment.
Wow.
And through that, through that discomfort, I think that's the motivator for me, pain, discomfort, to change lifestyle. I had decided to get healthy. And that started with just walking, and that walking to work then led into running a little bit. And from there, I remembered how much I loved that activity level and getting back after it. And so that's led me to the last 20 some years of really starting to start with that walking all the way up to a 50 miler just 2 years ago.
That's amazing. And Pete, you have such a great story as far as what you had to surpass.
Sure.
Even a couple of years ago. Would you mind sharing what you've been through? And if anyone can see him right now, this guy is super fit, and you would never guess what he's been through, but I'd love to just hear that side of your story.
Yeah. We're just about a month after I completed my first 50 miler. Top of the world, felt like I was in the best fitness shape I've ever been in. And lo and behold, I had just a debilitating pain that just rocked me to my core, buckled over, and I thought I was having an appendicitis. And wife and I rushed down to the ER. They do a CT scan to prep me for surgery. And through that, they realized, wow, he doesn't have appendicitis. He's got a grapefruit-sized cancer covering his left kidney. And while that wasn't, the pain was, luckily, God gave me a hernia to get me that CT scan that I needed to diagnose and see that cancer. But through that cancer surgery, about a month later, I've worked hard to try to rebuild. I continue to push myself a little bit, maybe harder, being back where I was 2 years ago. I have that expectation. I have that mile time in my mind and that intensity level that through a major surgery like removing a kidney will do. It's hard to come back from that. And so I need to, with great tutelage and advice from experts like you, slow down to speed up to be consistent again.
Yeah. Pete, it's awesome being a part of your recovery from that, and you've come across some injuries along the way. Can you talk about what happened with your hamstring and your low back and what you've tried before and what the result was before we saw you?
Yeah. A few months before you saw me, I developed some hamstring issues. Just, again, being a guy, chasing other people that are faster. I surround myself with always people that are a little bit better than me, so that it always forces me to get a little bit better in life. And there's a great gentleman, Brian, we call him Prodigal. We're racing just on the hill, just outside of here. And that, lo and behold, I tweaked my hamstring. And that's going back about 6 months ago, maybe 9 months ago. And in that recovery process from that, I wasn't really getting anywhere with a different PT at the time. and it was just manipulation. We weren't doing a whole lot that was getting us to what really was the root cause, was some imbalanced stuff. Then lo and behold, going back to that injury, I tweaked my back also, doing some dad things on a ladder, hanging off gutters, eaves, trees, whatever. And I tweaked my back. And then that following weekend, I was on a BR team, on a 6-man BR team.
Yeah.
And then I didn't want to let the team down.
Sure.
I was in utter pain, could barely sit in the van to get there. And it would take me 10 minutes to get out of the van, to get straight upright, to be able to start to walk again, let alone to run. And so I went a little too hard, pushed through the pain, and probably was because of the pain. I wasn't paying attention to hydration, and being down a kidney, hydration kind of matters now. Yeah. I ended up dehydrating during that race and ended up in the ER again. Go figure. All of this is lessons learned in life. And now I really monitor everything I do, both hydration, food, exercise, and I still need help and accountability from people to slow down, to speed up and get healthy again.
Absolutely. And at the other PT place, what they did for you was a little bit of hands-on. It sounded to me like they also didn't really provide you with the right kind of progression after seeing you for so many months. And I think that's part of why you probably didn't get better.
Yeah, we kept doing the same things. We weren't really, the loading that we were doing was very minor, almost insignificant. The targeted loading and really analyzing the root causes where things were happening. And we were just doing manipulation, some cupping, and we weren't really getting deep into that high hamstring issue that I was having, or that I have, and we're so close to getting back to where I want to be. And it wasn't as deep as inspective. I look at you, you act like you're a detective. You ask me whether it's the first time or even today, you asked me like 20 different questions, trying to peel back that onion and get deeper and deeper. And it's a whole different perspective than I've ever seen in any PT before.
That's awesome, Pete. It's funny because on day one, I almost sensed a little bit of maybe skepticism.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But the cool thing is I think we got results on day one. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And that was like, I feel like that kind of built that trust that you and I have had over time. Yeah. And I think we had a lot of great progress starting out. And I definitely see us getting onto that path where this is going to be a non-issue for you, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. I dramatically see differences each time. Now, don't get me wrong. I can't just count on you to do it for me. Yeah. I have to do it too when I'm not here.
Yes.
That means I need to not run the hills. I need to be mindful of that, but I also need to be doing the other loading exercises on a consistent basis, because you're not a magician. You can't just wave a wand and fix me. And you're also not there with me all the time. Mm-hmm. So I need to have discipline, and I also need to have some accountability from some friends.
I'm so glad you said that, because sometimes the perception is that, I get fixed when I go to physical therapy.
No.
Really, it's just about us being a partnership in this,
right?
And you taking ownership of what you have to do. I'll give you the prescription of what we have to do. And any kind of medicine, whether it's exercise or pills or whatever, is only as good as the compliance that our clients have.
It's all discipline. And if you want to get better, you have to own it. It's yours to own. It's your outcome to achieve. Dr. Jerry is obviously well known and versed in his expertise. He can give you the tools and tell you how to do it. He can't force you to do it. And it's on you to build back better.
Absolutely. And it looks like what we tried differently that was working for you was not only did we provide a progressive loading program for the hamstring and everything else, and we got your back to feel better, but we also used some other kinds of modalities. Can you talk about how your experience has been with the shockwave, with the dry needling?
Sure. Yeah. Get ready. That's all I got to say. That shockwave is not a percussion gun. It's not. It goes a whole lot deeper into the tissue. It can get intense, but I've noticed that just like a percussion gun and other things that help bring blood flow and circulation to damaged tissue, that shockwave definitely goes a whole lot deeper. And for me, where I have such a high hamstring tendonitis or tendinopathy, that's surrounded by so much other tissue. It's hard to get there. You're not going to hit it with a percussion gun. You can't get it with a roller or Graston. And Graston's not going to go anywhere near that. Maybe a calf, but that's where something like shockwave really makes a difference. And then the dry needling with the TENS or whatever it is, electricity, we'll call it, that really it was a dramatic difference for me. So I've done acupuncture in the past. I've done dry needling for different things to help release the muscle. But again, we're trying to get blood flow and try to correct broken tissue. And I think those other modalities have really helped.
Awesome. And of course, you love the BFR.
Oh, jeez. I just got done with BFR, 3 sets each leg, and I was close to puking on that last one. It's not, and that's a whole nother thing. It's when you, and I had no idea why. I don't know why this works or why it makes it so much more intensive, but that restrictive cuff, kind of reducing the blood flow, we'll call it, in a tourniquet way, and then still pushing and making that muscle do something. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why it makes it hard, but it's tough. And it definitely helps. I just even noticed just coming off the table to walk over here, my legs felt different than they did when I walked in the door an hour ago.
Excellent. Yeah. The benefit comes after the fact, but basically loading the tissue under that kind of stress makes your brain think that you're actually lifting a lot heavier of a load than it actually is. And that's actually what produces the necessary response for your body to put the right stuff in that area to start healing it.
Awesome.
It's cool. Talk to us, Pete, about what it's like working with our team and how your experience has been.
Sure. The team, for the most part, everybody is so welcoming. Try to get to know you, try to get to know what's going on, not just today, but yesterday, in previous years. Other people, I might have a racing shirt on or something like that. And all of a sudden it sparks a conversation about, wow, you did that triathlon or you did that race. I did this, something like that, or I grew up there. And it's more of a family atmosphere because I feel like everybody's in it for me to be invested. And that you hear that, and for me, I want to get better for them.
Yeah.
Because now we're a team together. It's not just, you're just giving me directions and checking on me later. You're actually there inspecting, talking, and we're much more family, I think.
That's awesome. Were there any unexpected benefits that you perceived coming here for that hamstring that you didn't expect to see?
Strength. The biggest thing by far for me was building and strengthening, not just together, but individually. We found some areas where a high variation of strength load on the left leg compared to the right leg.
Right.
Maybe that it made the right leg work harder and then led to the issues or injuries. But strength overall, over the last time since we started working together, I have then invested in more kettlebells. Many more kettlebells. And I'm doing more exercises at home, but that's then helped build a much stronger body. And so that strength, while I knew I needed it, I know I need a whole lot more of it now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's funny because we've talked about this with other colleagues of ours and our clients too, where it's really important to obviously get the cardio in that we normally do. And a lot of us are runners. We like to do endurance kinds of things. But the biggest game changer that we have seen in all of our athletes, especially over the age of 30, male or female, has been incorporating strength-based exercise into the program. And it's not just, oh, I'm going to do 20-pound squats. It's let's go heavy. Let's really get the body to absorb this training so that we can actually perform better in the things that we love to do. And I think for a lot of our clients, especially some of our elite athletes who either poo-pooed strength training or it was like something, it was an afterthought kind of thing. Once they really made it a part of their actual training and as part of even the endurance training, the benefits in the performance, like all of them have been like, oh my God, I never knew that this is going to be so important for us.
Yeah. I had no idea. I revolted against the gym for many years. I was like, I can just buy a pair of shoes and get healthy just by running.
Absolutely.
And I ran myself into the ground because I wasn't well balanced. And now for the last 6 years or so, I've been a cross-country coach for a small charter school. And it was a lot of just running at first. But now we really work on various strength exercises to create healthier kids so they don't get injured as well. And they're much stronger. And we're making it to states every year. And I think it's because of trying to be well-rounded. And you have to be well-rounded. Nutrition, sleep, and rest. And then that strength exercise, along with cardio, will get you to the goals that you want to have.
Absolutely. Pete, where's the direction that you're going as far as your fitness? You have something that you really want to get back to since all the stuff that's happened in your life?
Yeah, you roll back those 2 years of early July is when we did that kidney surgery or removal. And March before that, I was just crushing it. I felt like I was on top of the world. I'd like to get back there. I did a run this past Saturday. While it was pretty good, I was about 1.5 minutes faster per mile 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And can I get back there? I'm going to try. I really feel like in my heart and my mind, and I think my body's still capable. I
Yeah.
need to build back a little bit still, but I'm on that trajectory. And in the time that we've been working together, I'm probably a good consistently 45 seconds faster a mile
Wow.
today. And again, I need to slow down. We talked
Yes.
about that earlier.
Yes, we did.
But I feel it. I feel the progression.
That's awesome. And I'm so glad you said that. I want to touch on that a little bit with our audience, where it's sometimes working with the active population, and for everyone out there knows, like, we specialize in runners and hybrid athletes. Sometimes the issue is that our men and women love to do what they do, to the point where sometimes it's a lack of rest days that happen. And I get it, because for me, exercise is my mental health, as it is for you and many other people. And what I've learned as I've gotten now close to 50 is that the more that I slow down and the more rest days I add in there, and the more I focus on the foundational principles like nutrition and making sure that I get enough of what I need every day to sustain my activities, my performance has gotten better and better as a result. And that's the same philosophy that we've actually been giving to our clients. Whereas, and you and I spoke about this, Pete, where nutrition is really clean. We need to add more calories because of the level of activity that you do, and also because of what you need to regenerate and recover between sessions.
Yeah. Rest days are just so foreign to me.
It's very hard.
It is.
Yeah.
And we talked about it just an hour ago. I feel mentally more awake, more cognitively fit, ready to take on the day when I work out in the morning. And that, for me, I'm an AM guy.
Same.
Working out. My wife is, she's the opposite. She wants to work out at the end of the day. I don't know why.
I can't do that.
I don't know why, but I need to get after it, and it really wakes me up.
Yeah.
It gets me going. Now, nutrition is a big thing. I need to eat better or more.
Yeah.
I can eat much better. I eat pretty much everything raw or pretty much minimally processed, very clean.
Yeah.
I just need to eat more. But that rest, I get it. I need to slow down to speed up, and that could be some active yoga we talked about, but not deep stretching right now.
Yeah.
I like to ruck as well. I look at that as a rest day, and maybe that's not a rest day with a load on your back.
With a 45-pound, maybe not for you.
Yeah. So maybe I scale back, but that I just turned 51 a couple weeks ago, and I know, wow. And I definitely realize, and I understand, I need to slow down.
Yeah. And it's slow down to go fast, right?
Yeah. To get back to where I want to be. And even when I am 100%, we're going to get there. We're getting close.
Yeah.
And when I am, you still need to have those days to recover. Your body can't just continue to be hammered and hammered all the time.
Exactly. Especially at our young age.
Yes.
Now, Pete, for anyone who might be on the fence about coming to see us, I know we're not the cheapest game in town, but what are some things that you would say to them to help them see us in a different kind of way?
Right. I look at it. So the first time, you're right, I was super skeptical.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, why? It's too many questions, not enough things here. We got to the root causes, though. And we started to peel back that onion, and we still continued to as we have conversations, or as I continue to load, or things change and we do different exercises. Hey, how'd that work? And things like that. So we have that introspection. Gosh, I don't know. It's really, it's interesting. I don't know how to say it. Yeah. I need to, keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So basically, if someone's on the fence and they're like, hey, maybe should I go see Next Level? I don't know.
That's okay. So thank you for drawing me back here.
Yeah.
So I think everybody, you need to go to the person that's going to be right for you. For me, Jerry, you were right. And you are not the cheapest game in town, but you go so much deeper. The modalities that we use are different than anything I've ever used before. I've done dry needling, never done dry needling with electricity. And that's one thing. Shockwave, BFR, those things. And the much heavier load and the constant research and working with me about what I'm doing and how it's adapting is so different. I look at it also as time with practitioner and the time that as a value quantifier.
Yeah.
So the time that you take with me while I'm here is probably double the time that I had with somebody else. So while the price is not double, but I have more time with you to get better. So that means that's a whole lot.
Definitely.
And our sessions are a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I'm not rushed for a 30-minute session.
Yeah.
So I have to plan a little my day.
Yeah.
but I get so much more out of it because you're spending time, you're investing in me that entire time. It's not, I'm going to throw some cups on, I'll see you in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
There's a level of difference there.
That's awesome, Pete. Pete, thank you so much again for coming on our show. If there are 3 words that came to mind to describe the next level experience for you, what would those 3 words be? Maybe even 1 word.
Oh, man. I would have to say it is introspection, that challenging, and then accountability. Because you peel back that onion like I talked about, you challenge me because there are certain things I didn't think I could do. The BFR, 3 sets on each leg. It was tough. Yeah. And then, but you're like, no, you got it. Keep pushing. And I pushed through it. And then that last piece is like that accountability. And you're asking me some of the similar questions time after time. That's reinforcing, concreting in my mind that I need to be disciplined about that piece. And so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And I'm looking forward to seeing you get to that,
that
milestone for yourself, Pete.
I will.
Cool. Thanks again, Pete.
Thanks a lot
on our show.
Yep.
Thanks so much for tuning into today's episode. It really does mean a lot to us. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, or comment if you got at least 1 or 2 helpful insights or takeaways to help you get to your next level.